Way. There is a silver boot that is out there ready to grab for the Houston Astros and the Texas Rangers. And guess what? The Houston Astros have a grasp of the silver boot series. Tonight, Framber had 7 strikeouts. Jose Altuve had his 33rd fourth hit game, and Martin Maldonado had some amazing late season heroics. We're so pumped to be here at Locked On Astros with Eric the Man Huysman, myself, H-Town Wheelhouse. Join us. Let's talk Astros baseball.
Dun 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 dun.
Hello and welcome to Locked On Astros, your daily Astros podcast. Here are your hosts, Eric the Man Huysman and Brett H-Town Wheelhouse Chancey.
We are Locked On Houston Astros, and we hope you join us for a daily Locked On Astros podcast. My name is Eric Huysman. You can find me on Twitter at Eric Talks Stros. Find the show at Locked On Astros, your team every day. Brett, where can you find you at when you're not at a Star Wars game?
That's right. They can find me at H-Town Wheelhouse on Twitter and Instagram and at Astros411 on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. Always positive. Got my Chewbacca koozie. Always Stros. I got you one too. And
you got
I got Yuli. I got your bobblehead. It's in a box. Mine's out of the box.
Okay, it was about to be fighting words if you didn't get my bobblehead. I'm like,
I got you, man. I got you.
All right. So while we're not fighting, we want you to make us your first listen every day, whether it's on YouTube. Just go ahead and go to YouTube, search Locked On Astros. Just press that little button that says subscribe and go and hit the like button while you're there. And go ahead and listen to us on Apple, Odyssey, Spotify on your way to work, on your way home from work, at work, whatever you want doing. Like we're about to be off for a year from teaching. We can listen to our own podcast. So just make us your first listen every day. And so today's game, it didn't start so well for Framber Valdez, but it finished well because he was on fire. He was knocking him down left and right, and he recovered very nicely. Then you had Kyle Tucker get a clutch RBI, and then you had Jose Siri get his first home hit, and then you had Martin Maldonado do something that a lot of fans have been asking him to do all year. And he did it, and he got the job done late in the game to really secure it. And speaking of the force being with you, we actually saw Ryan Presley in a game. It's been a while since we've actually seen him in a game because Dusty, we trust he doesn't like to use his closer when there's not a safe situation. So surprisingly, he wasn't that rusty. And Dusty, whatever. Everything's right.
I think that's enough Dusties and Rusties. Yeah. But, it's great that you mentioned that, Eric, because when you look at the pitching line, Valdez, like we mentioned, 7 strikeouts, okay? He only had 2 walks. He only gave up 1 run. Now he gave up 6 hits. But you can give up a lot of hits, and if the runs don't come across the plate, I'm okay with that. In the long run, you want that fixed. You want fewer hits because you get better teams later in the season. That can be more consequential. But dude, Hector Neris came in and was absolutely lighting the radar gun on fire, throwing 95, 96 with 3 strikeouts. And then Presley comes in, 3 strikeouts, and it's not a safe situation, but he comes in anyways and he locks it down. That is what was missing these last couple games, these last couple starts. And the bats came alive when they needed to. They got double-digit hits. Everyone's like, oh, what happened to the hits? What happened? Now, I don't know if you noticed this. There were a lot of base running mistakes. There were several. And it was like, what are we doing on the base pass? They did get the double steal late in the game, which was cool. Tucker swiped his 9th base. I believe he's either second by himself. He's close to first. I think Julio Rodriguez may be in first place. Last time I checked, he was at 9. I'm not sure where he is. And so anyways, it was a good game. It was a fun game. My son and I were there. It was Star Wars night. They had the Star Wars theme. A friend of the show, Melissa HOU over on Twitter, she does the whole she does cosplay and stuff. She was dressed like Princess Leia. She actually got her blaster signed by Lance McCullers before the game. She showed it to me. And there were, R2-D2 was there. People were dressed up like the stormtroopers and all that stuff. So really, really cool night, fun night. You saw kids dressed like Jedis. You saw kids dressed like, like Princess Leia. So it was a great family atmosphere, Eric. It was the Astros always do a great job. Orbit puts on a great show.
Yeah, I know that all Star Wars is
I was
always
not. Hold on. I was not in the nosebleeds. I was sitting in section. I was sitting in the 200s, brother. I sit in the club. I don't go up to the nosebleeds. I got connections, brother.
Alrighty, so I know this is not really Star Wars, but Jose Siri put his ludicrous speed on, if to steal that from Spaceballs. So he actually stole a base, and then, or I don't know if you would call that a stolen base, but he was running, and then he overran the base, and then got the run out. If that's what you're talking about there, but you have to love his aggression because he stole a base and then ran past another base, but overall, you have to like what you saw from him today. He had a walk, he had that hit, and so he did strike out, but he's looking good. And he had that catch. He had that unbelievable catch that had that 34% catch percentage, and he used his speed just to catch up to it. And they're saying on the broadcast that most center fielders could not catch that ball, and that's why he's up there, even though he's a part-time player in the defensive run save category, just because of his ability. And so just looking at his speed, this is why I think even when Jake Myers comes up, the Astros will try to find a way to keep him on the roster, but it's going to be kind of hard, especially with the team they have now. And it's going to probably take an injury to keep him
You're
up
talking
here.
about Jose Siri.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I was actually talking to a friend of mine. I won't share his name, but he actually is from the Dominican. He actually played for their national team, and him and I were talking about the different players, Jose Siri, guys like that. And he said, he said Siri's an exciting player. He said, but he really needs to start hitting. He goes, if he doesn't start picking things up, he said it's not going to be good for him to be on this team a long time. So I mean, people are starting to see it. Yes, everybody hit the like button. So, people are, hold on. Eric needs to do an entire show with it. No, he does not. World Traveler, I'm gonna mute you for 5 minutes. Do not encourage that tonight. No, this is Star Wars night. It's not country night.
Why not?
Okay? No, Eric, no. So Eric didn't grow up in the country. Let's just be clear.
I did not.
No, stop. That's not a country act. I don't know what that is. So you sound
That's
West
Forrest
Virginian.
Gump.
No, that's West Virginia. Anyways, but like I said, I think Eric in the outfield mix, it's going to be Chaz. It's going to be the Myers and McCormick show for the year. And then next year, I really believe it's going to be the Myers and Leone show. And those two are going to battle for the starting spot. I think Leone ultimately wins in the long run. McCormick is probably a trade casualty. I don't know how you keep him around unless you use him as a utility guy, which I don't know where he plays other than outfield. And I don't say that because I don't like McCormick, and I don't say that because I don't think McCormick's not talented. But if Myers and Leone are your leading guys, Siri and McCormick may be on the outside looking in. But what you need is for Siri to get key hits like this. You need key catches. You need things like this to happen so that this team is as good as it can be in the very end.
Look what
Wow.
you're starting. Look what you're
Hey,
starting.
I'm not the one creating the wonky accent, bro. That's all on you.
All right. And Alex is saying it's not what Brett wants, it's what everybody wants. And people want the accent.
No, okay. All right. You may have to do that one solo.
Yeah, I'll do one solo.
Do it
I think
solo.
my
I
voice
can't
would
hear
be
you.
like
Did you hear me? It was a joke. You hear me?
Yeah. What?
I said do it. I said do it so low I can't hear you.
Okay,
Hey.
well, I'll make sure that I make you listen to it. Alrighty. So I do want to talk about Framber, what he did in this game. This was a game where he started off, I think he allowed the run in the first inning, and then it looked like he was going to have one of those typical Framber outcomes where he doesn't do well in the first inning, but then all of a sudden it just comes out. And he just did well, and it's like he built on what he does best, and he found that niche that he just does well. And it just looked like the Rangers had no clue what to do, and all they can do is just go in there and eat a box of Built Bars because they couldn't do anything at the plate.
Man, good Lord, those 10 minutes went by fast. Built Bar is the best tasting protein bar on the land. Brownie batter puffs are here. I love brownies. I love them even more as a built puff. I even love the brownie batter itself. So this is great. It's wrapped in 100% chocolate. It's a marshmallow puff. And it's infused with protein. Not just protein, it's collagen protein, which means your body absorbs it more efficiently and it provides tons of health benefits. The brownie batter puff will have you completely forgetting that you are eating a protein bar. No need to pinch yourself. This is real life. Go to built.com and get brownie batter puffs now. Check out all their puff flavors. I'm telling you, they're amazing. I'm not lying about this. I had another birthday cake built puff on the way to the Astros game. That's right. Go to built.com and use a promo code LOCK15. That's 15% off your order. Use a promo code LOCK15 to get 15% off at built.com, the best and the only built puffs in the land.
Alrighty, and make sure you make us your first listen every day, of course, because we are awesome and we think you are awesome, Locked On Astros Nation. But you know what? Who else is awesome? The Locked On Now podcast. They do a great job of putting all the nows together. And after the wins, teams are super excited and they're like, "Hey, we won!" And other teams are like, "Hey, we lost." And it's just a great way to see what's going around this great sport of baseball. And it's called the Locked On Now podcast. Like I was the superstar the other day. I had a million people watch my video, and I'm now people walk down the street now and say, "Hey, Eric, were you the guy on the Locked On Out podcast?" I'm like, "Yes, I was." So
I'm
go
sure
check
they
them
do. I'm sure they do, Eric.
So, anyway,
Hey, Eric, check this out. Before we transition to something, Hunter Schultz on Twitter just sent this to me, and he said, "Hey, the Astros at 25-14 are off to their best start since 2017." That's pretty awesome. This team, for what we've been concerned about, what we were concerned about coming into the season, anything that we were worried about, this team's getting it done. And this team, when they do what they're supposed to do, look what they did tonight. They avoided throwing to Yuli. They avoided throwing to several of the Astros. They were walking them, and they were walking them on purpose. They were trying to not give these guys opportunities to hit. And Martin Maldonado comes through and gets a clutch hit. It doesn't have to be the superstars in this team that does it. We don't have to have a Stantonian type home run to win a game, or even an Alvarez bomb. We can have our little guys or our lesser stars, the guys that aren't expected to get the job done, do it, and this team wins. So this team wins no matter who's at the helm.
Yeah, and I was going to do Martin Maldonado in the English accent, but yeah, you already stole it, so I'm not going to do that. I probably would have butchered it anyway. But with the bases loaded, that was with Martin
Amazing.
Maldonado. That was just an awesome experience to see, and I was like I was setting up for the show, and I'm just like, okay, I would like to have some type of insurance run here, just something to kind of give us some breathing room. And I know it will take the save situation away, but just Maldonado, do something. And he did. He got that 2-run double, and it was just beautiful. And you can see a huge sigh of relief on his face. And he was like, "Yeah, I finally did that." And then I know that the rest of the guys, it took a lot of pressure off of. I think that's why Presley was warming up, and that's why Dusty actually put him in. But going back to what we teased, let's talk a little bit about what Framber Valdez did.
Okay.
His ERA is now 2.68 on the season.
Nice.
He pitched 7 innings. He allowed 6 hits. Most of the damage was in the first inning. He allowed 1 earned run and 2 walks, 7 strikeouts. But that first inning was where he could have come unraveled. We've seen him in the past come unraveled, but he actually figured it out after that. He's like, "Okay, what did I do wrong?" And he figured it out. And he was almost unhittable, kind of like Nick Pivetta was the day before against the Astros. That's how Valdez was. He had the stuff, and he was making the Rangers look terrible. And it was just amazing just to watch him do his stuff. And so when he's on, he's on.
Yeah, his last 2 starts, he's got 14 and 2/3 innings pitched. He's got 13 strikeouts. He's only given up 2 runs. He's given up no home runs. He's only walked 4 batters, Eric. I mean, this is what you need out of Framber Valdez. This is what you call getting Framberized, and this is what it's all about. Framber is really one of the great young, I say young arms, I mean young in the league. He hasn't been in the league that many years. Yeah, he's up in his upper 20s, but he's one of the newer arms in the league. And after seeing what happened today, I don't know if you saw this, but Max Scherzer is down 6 to 8 weeks. Jacob deGrom is down. He's out for several weeks still. And there's something to be said. And Larry the GM sent me this. We were talking on Twitter. He said there's something to be said about having a starting rotation where most of your pitchers are in their 20s compared to someone who has pitchers in their 30s and 40s almost. Now, we do have Justin Verlander, but everybody else is really in that good, prime age range. That's going to bode well for us. And the young arms we have coming up, Eric, I'm telling you. So I did this thing. I said, how long do you think the Astros championship window, or the golden era, what I'm calling, is open? And I put 2024, Eric, through 2027. And I think a lot of people are choosing all the way up to 2027. Like, I really think that's a realistic thing. Of course, someone joked 30-15, but the point is, this team continues to retool, continues to grow talent, and I don't see any end in sight where this team relinquishes one of the top 4 spots in the AL for the next, in the league for the next several years to come, to be honest.
And speaking of milestones, Jose Altuve, he achieved another milestone. We saw him get his 1800 hit the other day. And now tonight, he passed Cesar Cedeno for 4th place of all time in doubles in Astros history. He tied him today, and then he also had another double late in the game. And so now he has 344 career doubles in Astros history, which now has him in sole place in 4th place in Astros history. And this is what Altuve had to say on the milestone. Cesar was a great player and a very special player for the Astros organization. And when my name is next to a name like that, it makes me proud, makes me want to go out there and keep doing what I'm doing for this team and for the city of Houston.
There you go. I mean, dude, I can't get over how good this team is, Eric. I really can't. And we get all this shade thrown at this team, and we still get these stupid monikers about anytime Jose hits a home run, it's like, oh, he has a buzzer, and just all this BS. And like, you have to be a very unintelligent person or a very hard-headed person not to realize that the Houston Astros are the ultimate standard in the American League. And the World Series goes through Houston. Until someone knocks us off the ALCS mantle and returning back, it's about us. It's not about the Rays. It's not about the Yankees. It's not about the Blue Jays. It's about the Houston Astros. And people can keep crying all they want to. It doesn't matter, because the Houston Astros are the team that you wish your team was, and you know it. Just start admitting it. The first part, the first step to getting out of something and recovering is admitting you have a problem. And if your problem is denying the Houston Astros are the best team in the American League, then you need to get over that. We've got a hotline you can call, and you can go get some help.
Yeah, and it all started when Altuve came back. They are, what are they now?
Exactly.
They're 14-2 in games.
They're 14-2. I mean, God bless, this team is amazing, dude.
Alex is throwing shade at you, by the way, but Jose Altuve has had his 33rd career 4-hit game, and the last time he did this was on October 2nd of 2021 against the A's. And since he's entered the league in 2011, he's recorded 165 3-hit games, which is the most in MLB during that span. That's according to Shaq Sullivan with the Astros. So Jose Altuve is doing what a lot of people can't do. And I know a lot of people will say, well, we know why. Yeah, we know why. He's a great player, and that's why. And so Speaking, no, I'm not going to go there, but we're not going to hear Blummer on tomorrow's podcast. We're not going to hear Todd Callis. We're not going to
That's
hear Joey
okay. Hey,
Morales.
you know what? It's great because we get to hear the awesome Apple TV podcast, and we get to hear Miss Nolan. She's going to do a great job, a phenomenal job, talking about the Houston Astros. Because, I mean, why wouldn't you want to talk about the Houston Astros? They're amazing.
Yeah. And when we get back, we're going to go and look ahead at tomorrow's game, look at tomorrow's matchup, and kind of look at what's going on. And somebody was asking about the injury to Odorizzi. We can address that again. And you can bet that we're going to beat the Rangers again. That's all I can think of right now. So let's talk about Bet Online.
Whether you're a Southern Oklahoma Rangers fan or a Houston Astros fan or a Houston Rockets fan, you saw them get the third pick in the draft. That's right. They're gonna just light the world on fire with this next draft pick. Our partners at BetOnline continue to be the number one source for all your betting needs and sports info. Find all the latest odds, news, and sports developments, including this year's basketball playoffs, Major League Baseball scores, fights, and next season's NFL futures. Like Derek Stingley Jr., the third overall pick, the first round pick for the Texans, threw out the first pitch tonight. How many interceptions is this kid going to have? How many pick sixes is he going to have? BetOnline is your continued source for all your sports wagering information, from live betting to playoffs, esports, and more. Head to the website today and use your mobile device to learn more about all the trends in action. BetOnline, where the game starts.
Okay, I'm going to go ahead and squash this rumor. Brett is not going to be a beat writer for the Texas Rangers. He despises the
It's
Texas
not a
Rangers.
rumor. It's literally someone typing it on here. Nobody's privy to this.
I know.
This
Alex thinks he's sources. He's
No,
not sources.
You know where this comes from, right?
No.
You don't know the word. Okay. This originated on Twitter. You have to be on Twitter. Go to my Twitter feed. I'm not going to explain it because those listening won't understand it. So just go look at it on Twitter. It was a conversation between myself and Astros Locker, and that's all we'll say about that. We'll move forward.
Okay.
Jake Kaplan vacated the Athletic. There is no Astros beat writer. So I basically said, hey, I'll throw my name in the hat for the beat writer for the Athletic. And then I had several people say, hey, you're a great voice for the Astros. You would be awesome and all that stuff. And it just kind of blossomed from there. And of course, Alex loves to poke us there. So I was born in Florida. I have a Mark McGwire jersey, and I am loyal to Houston. Alex, if you knew, I've been watching Astros games when you were pooping yellow. Whatever. Anyways, I've been watching the Astros for a long time, brother. So bring the smoke. I'm kidding.
So there was some lineup switching today, and I know that Alex Bregman moved up to the 2-hole today, and then that was because Michael Brantley was out in the lineup, and then Yuli Gurriel was out in the lineup.
Who was third?
Yordan Alvarez. He did have 2 walks, but
See?
I think this may be some type of lineup that you can work with. I don't know when you have the main guys in because he likes Michael Brantley hitting second, but this is something that may get Bregman going, but it didn't tonight. But Bregman seems to have found something in the swing, but nothing happened tonight. But I think with time, he's going to figure things out. But I don't think this is going to be a long-term thing. I don't know about how long Bregman's going to stay in the 3-hole if he can't hit. But this is something that maybe they can look at down the road. But Pena you can maybe move him to 3-hole. I just don't know if you're going to put that much pressure on a rookie shortstop when there's already so much pressure on him to replace somebody who is such a big asset to this team and Carlos Correa.
Exactly.
So, yeah.
No, yeah, definitely. And that's the thing. And so it's just one of those things where Bregman needs to. He said he fixed the hitch in his swing. And, if he would have gotten a hold of that ball a little bit better that he hit earlier today, he probably could have driven that ball out of the park. Here's the thing. Bregman's going to come around. Bregman is a grinder. Bregman is a worker. He's going to figure things out. But I would much rather him go through this now rather than later.
All right. So tomorrow's or today's matchup, depending on when you're listening to this, is going to be Christian Javier, who's 2-1 with the 3.20 ERA with 30 strikeouts. Martin Perez is 2-2 with a 2.01 ERA with 33 strikeouts. Now, the key word is he's left-handed. The Astros tend to struggle this year against left-handed pitchers. And if you look at who has had success against him, Yuli Gurriel is batting .412. Martin Maldonado, today's hero, so to speak, late inning hero, is batting .529. Chas McCormick is batting .333. Kyle Tucker in 2 at-bats is batting .500. Jose Altuve is batting .295. So the Astros have some success against him, but
hasn't he had the Astros number once or twice? He kind of, I mean, I believe there's been a couple games where he's actually pitched really well against us. What I like about it though is it's at home. If Yuli's hitting this high against him, this is the kind of person that he needs to face, that he's familiar with, to maybe just get his bat going more than it really has been all season. He's really been he's faded into the background as not the headline guy getting the RBIs, getting the hits. But, early in the game, Eric, those runs that came across the plate that gave them the lead that they never relinquished, those were key hits. They hit the ball really hard. They hit it to the corners. Rangers made errors and the Astros capitalized. That's what baseball is about. Baseball is not always about hitting the home run. Baseball is not always about hitting the ball in the gap. Baseball is about, even if you hit it to the guy and the other team makes a mistake, you capitalize. And if you capitalize and score runs, then you're playing a complete game. That is baseball. And that's what a lot of people forget about. The game of baseball is really won in the small items of the game. The guy that doesn't swing at that pitch outside that gets on base. Those 3 walks were key. And Martin Maldonado, he was the hero tonight, because had he not gotten that hit and it's still 2-1, that game could have totally gone the other way, because the other day the Rangers were up on the Angels were up on the Rangers like 5-1 or 7-1, and they came back and won, and they scored double-digit runs, and they won in the final innings. And so, they won in the extra innings. So that's key, and that's what baseball's all about.
All right, so you're saying baseball's about making contact with the baseball. Remember our conversation last time?
Well, no. What I'm saying, and no, I know, but what I am saying is, when the other team makes mistakes, if you capitalize and score, that's when you win more than you lose. But if the other team makes mistakes and you still don't bring runs across the plate, like, you can load the bases with 3 walks and then get 3 strikeouts. Those 3 walks don't mean crap. Or you can hit the ball and the third baseman muffs the ball off his glove and a guy advances. But when someone doesn't score, it doesn't. That's the whole left on base thing, right? The hitting with runners in scoring position. It's right. Like that.
Okay, in his career against the Astros, Martin Perez is 8-5 with a 2.89 ERA. He has 64 strikeouts and 96 2/3 innings pitched. So, yeah, he has 1 complete game against us. He's allowed 6 home runs. I don't know what else.
So he did have 1 complete game. So I remembered him having a game against us where he pitched really well. I didn't remember. I didn't know how many that was. But let's go out tomorrow and have the guys take care of business. And hey, let's sweep the freaking Rangers. Let's sweep them out of town. Let's put them in their place.
Trevor Story hit 3 home runs.
I don't know. Maybe he did. You know what? I don't care about Trevor Story. Why? Because he's on a 100-loss Boston
team. Let it go, Alex. It's over.
it's over, Alex. It's over.
Let it go.
So hey, just to let y'all know, for those of y'all listening and watching, we haven't put our ducks in a row yet on this, but pretty soon we're going to be announcing giveaways. We're going to be announcing an opportunity to come hang out with Eric and I this summer. I'm not going to give you details right now, but some really cool things that we'll have coming out this summer. So make sure that you tune into us every day so you don't miss those opportunities. And even if you're not on Twitter, we'll try to figure out, we're on Instagram, we're on Facebook. We'll find ways for people to enter in these little contests and giveaways, and we'll hook you up with some really cool stuff.
Well, I could say it. I'm going to have opportunities to come play Top Golf with us.
Oh yeah. Okay. Well, see, I didn't know if you wanted me to reveal. Yeah, we will be offering up like 4 spots to come hang out with Eric and I to golf at Top Golf this summer. It'll be a blast. It'll be fun. Now it'll be during the week. It'll be during the day. So you got to
Right.
have a job where you can take off during the week, but it's going to be fun and it'll be on us.
Yeah.
Well, the
So
golf will not all the drinks. And hold on, let's not get too crazy with it.
right.
I might buy 1 round. I'll buy you 1 round. That's it.
Okay. All right. So yeah, going back to the Jake Odorizzi injury, and I think what they discovered was it wasn't anything super serious. It's something that could keep him out for most of the year. I think that it was an angry, angry ligament or something or tendon,
Yes,
but
an angry tendon.
it wasn't the Achilles tendon that he thought he heard pop, but it's something that it could keep him out for a while. And what from his words, he's working on stability, he's working on pain management, he's working on just trying to figure out what to do now. So nothing major. So it's not something that's going to keep him out for the rest of the year, but it's something that's going to keep him out. I think you said the Astros injury report said till at least June or something.
So it says
July.
by the earliest July 1st. Did I say
July
July
1st.
1st?
Yeah.
I believe July 1st. Yeah.
So, but I wouldn't expect them to rush him back. Something like that, somebody who's dealt with that injury in that area, it's not something that they're going to rush him back, especially a pitcher that was it his left foot? Yeah, it was his
Yes.
left foot. So that's something that he plants and that he lands on. So that's something they're not going to. No, I'm not a doctor.
No, yes, he is. He's going to San Jacinto College right now. He's enrolled in a 2-year med program. He's going to become a medical records person. So yeah,
I'm
he's
just
going to be a
answering the
doctor.
dude's question. That's all.
He's a
So.
doctor, whatever. This guy Eric has so many talents you don't even know.
Alrighty, so guys, that's all we got for this edition of the Locked On Astros podcast. We're excited for this weekend series against the Rangers, and hopefully we sweep them. Hopefully we get at least 3 victories. And Brett, you got anything else smart to say?
Smart. Well, yeah, golly, why would you do that to me? Good look. Should I even edit? Should I edit this out of the audio? Hey,
No, I meant
here's the
like
deal.
smart alecky or anything.
Yeah, no, not smart alecky, but listen, hung out with some people from Astros Twitter. It was great seeing you guys. Met a guy from Florida, Mr. Campa. He is an awesome guy. Thank you for listening. Thank you for supporting our show. And anybody, if you ever see us at a game or whatever, say hi to us. We'd love to meet our listeners. You are why we do what we do, and we are the most listened to and downloaded Astros podcast in the universe. And I'm not overstating that. In the universe, you won't find another one that's more listened to ours. Y'all have a great one.
All right, we'll talk to you on Sunday. Go Astros.